And that has always been the focus of our campaign, making sure that we are addressing and speaking to these very real challenges and issues, right? Earning that trust first. Our mission is so authentic that it'll find a life of its own. And then we have a Latino LGBTQ plus veteran of the Navy and the Marine Corps representing North and East County, shoulder to shoulder with Daryl Issa for the next 4 years, which is just tremendous.
For the voter out there who's got a $20 bill in their pocket, they don't know that that's really going to do anything for a campaign. And this comes up all the time with YCBB members asking me, I don't have a lot of money to give. Can you make the pitch for how far that money can go for a campaign like yours?
Yeah, I mean, this is a people-funded, people-ran campaign. In our last campaign, I kept all those letters where people shared those beautiful stories with me, where it's like, your email asked for $15, but I only have 5, and they sent me 5. I keep those letters because, you know, that keeps me grounded. It reminds me of my duties and responsibilities to the voter, right? So, you know, I grew up poor. I'm not here to throw or waste anybody's money. And we've always ran a shoestring budget. So we don't spend on anything that we don't need. We're literally talking about the basics, keeping the lights on, keeping the water running. We've been working out of my apartment from the beginning, just because we don't want that overhead of the office until we need it, until we get into the field phase. Everything costs money. The website costs money. Our business cards, our flyers and door hangers, getting in the mailboxes, getting on the ballot. There's just an infinite number of things, and everything costs money, unfortunately, but we do it as ethically and as practically and smartly as possible. And it means the world. Every dollar counts, absolutely. And when I'm doing call time and asking people for their support, I always ask, you know, within your budget. I restrain my own donors. Don't tell my finance team, but I never want you giving more than you can, because our values and our policy and our mission is so authentic that it'll find a life of its own. And I'll put in the work to find the money.
That may be the best answer to that question I have gotten yet. Can you talk a little bit about the voters in SD-40 and what they're looking for out of a leader?
SD-40 is not unlike anywhere else in the country in that, you know, the primary thing on every voter's mind is how are they going to pay the bills? How are they going to keep food on the table, keep a roof over their head, keep their children safe? As right-wing forces have started to focus on school boards and politicizing everything from what we teach children to whether or not they go back to school, to whether or not they're safe in schools, has just been exhausting and difficult on these families. That's the primary thing. And that has always been the focus of our campaign, making sure that we are addressing and speaking to these very real challenges and issues, right? Earning that trust first.
Your opponent in this race is Republican incumbent Brian Jones. He was the state senator of the 38th district, but then redistricting split the 38th district into 2, and neither one of those districts is called the 38th district. We have the 32nd, and then we have the new district, and Brian Jones will stay as part of, he will represent that new district, and that's the 40th district. That is the district for which you are challenging him. Can you talk a little bit about the new divide and how that improves chances for a Democrat in this race?
The way I like to describe this, and I think fits best, is that during redistricting, they drew this district away from Brian Jones. So this is a North and East County district, but they then drew this district all the way out into the city, so 25% into the city of San Diego.
So west, is that they've drawn it out west, further west, right?
Yeah, drew it out west past our Marine Corps Air Base, Miramar. With that occurrence, Brian's been backed into a corner where he has nowhere else to go for more votes. There's no persuasion for Brian, whereas we've got everywhere to go. So in doing that, we kept all of Miramar, which means that now I have the opportunity to represent in its entirety a Marine Corps Air Base. And to do everything in my power to make sure that those sailors and Marines and employees have everything that they need. But then, of course, also the Navy and Marine Corps population, veteran population that's going to be around it. We picked up an API population that was never part of this district. That is a community that we can earn trust with. We kept our Latino population intact here in Escondido and San Marcos. And literally no one knows who Brian Jones is. So I have the opportunity. People ask me, is that the guy, is that the senator that had the whole Capitol shut down? And like, yeah, that's literally the only thing anyone can think of. And so I have the opportunity now in this race, which I think is so really energizes me. This can be a pure policy and values-based race, right? Because we don't have to talk about anyone else. All I have to focus on is earning your trust and getting that persuadable vote, picking up the margins, and we win this race. And then we have a Latino, LGBTQ plus, veteran of the Navy and the Marine Corps, representing North and East County, shoulder to shoulder with Darrell Issa for the next 4 years, which is just tremendous.